Ethan, thanks again for joining me on the show.
Yeah, good to be back. Thanks for having me.
Yes, I wanted to bring you back on because the last time we spoke was in December and your episode 234 came out in January. Since then, I would like to know what changes in the AI landscape or what has changed in the AI landscape since then.
Well, with AI, stuff changes every week. It's such a rapid pace. It's hard to keep up with a blow by blow of what happened over the past few months. That's like light years when it comes to AI. But some of the biggest developments have been that OpenAI released an update to their image generation. So you probably saw on social media where a lot of people were taking their images and making them look like Pixar characters or the toys in a box. The action figure has been a popular trend that's going around online. Well, that all came about when OpenAI updated ChatGPT to really improve their image generation. And it improved by leaps and bounds. Whereas before it couldn't spell, now it hits the spelling, I'd say about maybe 90% of the time it gets spelling correct. It can convert your photo into action figures, Pixar style. You can apply any type of artistic style to a photo that you upload. But actually,
I saw people do Barbie. I saw a lot of Barbies on my feed.
yeah, yeah. Now it has encountered when it first came out, it was really, really powerful, and you could upload a reference image and it would keep your reference image looking like you. But now it's changed and they put more guardrails around it when it comes to when you put human characters in it. So it
Mhm.
doesn't work quite as well as it used to, but it's still pretty impressive. But since then, staying on the topic of image generation, there are real-time image generators. So if you go to Krea.ai, Krea.ai, you can generate images real time, meaning as soon as you type a word, boom, the image is right there, no matter what it is. And as of right now, they seem to not have a lot of guardrails around copyright and trademark stuff. You could type Batman and instantly a picture of Batman will come up. And then you could say working, and then Batman will be working. And then you could say in a Starbucks. And by the time you get to the end of the sentence, Batman working in a Starbucks, there's a picture of Batman there serving Starbucks coffee. It is mind blowing and it happens instantly.
Wow. And that's Krea.ai.
Krea.ai, and then you'll see an option on there called real time.
Interesting.
And Midjourney has also released an update. They're now on version 7 of Midjourney, and you can upload a reference image there. I think they call it like a omni something image, but you can take your own photo and put yourself into different environments, and it will retain your actual look of your character, your photo. And you can put yourself in a movie scene or sitting at a conference table. So a lot has happened in the image creation space. That's probably one of the biggest updates in AI since the last time we spoke.
From a business perspective, can I now create like a fresher headshot or different type of marketing pieces? Are you recommending, or how would you recommend us using these things?
Mhm. It's funny you ask that because as cool as it is, I'm not a big fan of using AI generated images unless it has to be a very specific business use case because you want to be careful about coming off as fake. People can still tell when you use AI. You'd be very intentional about it. If you're going to use AI generated images, make it something cool like, hey, this is what AI created for this scenario. Like, for example, I have the client Over the Edge where they rappel off of the side of skyscrapers. This is a real company based up in Canada. And for some of it, they actually do have photos of people and videos of people rappelling off the side of skyscrapers. But I also created and imagined some other scenarios like a couple getting married while hanging off the side of a skyscraper, like in a wedding dress and tuxedo and everything. So they actually do that in real life. They have had people get married or do like an engagement shot on the side of the building to have this whole adventure scene. But I also imagined it like with the whole wedding garb on just to create the illusion. So if they use the AI generated images, they're clear about like imagine yourself in this scenario. So just be careful how you use
Okay. I will take a hard pass on getting married on the side. Well, I'm already married to you, of course, but no, no, thank you. I'll skip that. Wow.
Now,
That's cool.
another more practical business use case that has really improved a lot over the past few months and continues to improve is voice AI, phone systems, inbound and outbound. And I've implemented this for several clients. You've heard some of them, and we're also implementing it in Zeus's Closet to where when someone calls your business, you no longer need a human to answer the phone. You can have an AI receptionist that doesn't sound robotic, but actually sounds very fluid and conversational. And you can program the back end of that AI to handle certain situations. Maybe give price quotes, give directions to your office. You can give pricing. We have a dentist office who's a client, and it knows which insurance that it takes, which ones it doesn't take, pricing for cleanings, things like that. And it's also empathetic. I've tested out this client and I called acting like I have a toothache. And you can hear the empathy in the AI's voice. And it says, oh, hang in there. We'll get a team member right back to you. I predict that very soon, most businesses will be expected to have an AI answering service where we won't have phone support hours anymore. It'll be expected that you have a 24/7 AI receptionist to help me with my problem if I call your business.
Okay, that being the case, because that sounds really cool, but how would that differ from these phone systems that we currently run into that honestly just frustrate us all?
Yeah, they're frustrating because the current phone systems are not artificial intelligence. They are just IVR. They call them IVR. Like if it's like press one for this, press two for this, press three for this. And then what do we do? I just press the zero button until I get a human. It's not that. But it you truly honestly, a lot of people don't know that they're talking to an AI when it comes to these new systems. That's how fluid it is. If your listeners want to try it out or even set up a free demo with me, you can go to simplesuccess.ai. And that's one of the features that we have where I can show you the phone system and create one that's custom to your needs. We have a beauty school that we recently set up a phone AI system for. And the owner of this beauty school was getting frustrated with human staff not being available or not being as helpful. We have a 24/7 AI, and you can call up Buff Beauty Academy, and it tells you about tuition. It tells you about scholarships that they have. It tells you about specials they have going on. It can schedule an appointment for you to come in and do a tour of the academy. It's beyond just press one, press two, press three, and putting you in this frustrating loop where you have to repeat your account number over and over again. But it can also, if it can't handle something, then by default, it will take a message and say a team member will get right back to you, or we can actually program it to transfer the call to a human immediately. But there's no pressing buttons. It's all conversation based.
Wow, that's really neat. And the AI probably doesn't have a tood and isn't having a bad day.
That's right.
Or at least we hope not.
Yeah, I think we will prefer to speak with AI over the phone over humans in the next 5 years or so because
Oh,
of
wow.
that fact. It will be helpful and it will be always available and it will never be having a bad day.
Yeah, I mean, that's neat. I can't wait to see that in Zeus's closet too. That's going to be exciting. What are some of the newest, most practical AI tools that small businesses should start using in 2025? I mean, the phone system definitely sounds like a win. Are there any others we should consider?
We'll tie it in with the conversation. We'll call this conversation AI, the whole thing. The phone system is the voice AI component of it. And
Mhm.
then you also need a chat bot on your website so that people can interact with that in a conversational style in the same way. So those would be probably the two main things. And along with that conversation AI, it doesn't have to just be on your website. It can be in your Instagram DMs. So you've probably seen where people will say, well, DM me the word book if you want to get and I'll DM you this free PDF. So that's conversational AI. And you can set up a whole, it doesn't have to just be a one-off like download link. You can have a whole conversation in the DMs with someone. And then you get that person's contact information, their phone number, their email address, which is vitally important because having Instagram followers, Facebook followers doesn't mean anything anymore.
Mm.
First of all, it's algorithm based. Instagram, well, all of them follow kind of TikTok's model. And now they show you what you spend time looking at. So whatever you spend time with your eyeballs looking at is what's going to show up in your feed. You barely even see anything from people you follow anymore because the algorithm has changed. And secondly, you never know what could happen with your social media account. Your account could get flagged, it could get hacked, you could lose everything, all of your followers on social media. The whole platform could go away. We saw TikTok go away a few months ago, and people were in tears because their whole livelihood depended on TikTok. Don't be dependent on the social media channels. Set up an AI conversation based tool in the DMs so that you can get their contact information and take it offline so that you own that relationship with your followers.
Yeah, that's definitely great advice because, yeah, we don't own that system at
Right.
all. And I personally get a little frustrated because there are content creators that I do want to see their content and I have to go out and look for it because I know it's content that's helpful for my business or helpful for things that I'm doing. And it doesn't pop up anymore, which is
Right.
very irritating.
So there are a lot of tools you can use for that, like mini chat or chat based. We also offer that with Simple Success. Simple Success is the tool that I built on top of Go High Level, that it's customized because I wanted all of these features in one place instead of having all of these different subscriptions you have to pay for, because each of these $20 a month subscriptions add up. Why not just get it all under one roof in one place where you can manage it all and it's seamless?
Yeah, that's good. Now, speaking of subscription, I know because I live with you that you went from paying $20 a month for ChatGPT to what, like $200 a
Mhm.
month?
Yeah.
What do you have that I don't have? Because I'm not paying $200 a month.
Yeah, well, I was just testing that out, and I think that right now, so that's the ChatGPT Pro subscription model,
Okay.
and it's for if you're really, really a power user of ChatGPT, and these are the main features that you get, or what I think is one of the biggest benefits is you get access to Operator. What Operator is, it's fully automated chat GPT, if you will. So you know how we can right now with the plus version, with the free version of chat GPT, you can do things in chat, and chat will it will respond and give you, say, social media post or email text, email copy, or give you advice and things like that. What Operator will do is actually go out on the web and do things for you. Like, I've had it book a flight for me before. It will stop when it needs you to log in or when it needs you to put in credit card information, and then it'll pick it back up from there. But aside from that, it's a fully automated experience where it's kind of magical. Like, you watch the cursor moving around, and this robot is doing everything for you in a web browser. And you can just let it go in the background while you're doing other things on your computer. So that's the biggest benefit. And people think, oh, $200 a month is expensive. But if you compare that to how much it is to have an entry level human, to hire a human to do things, $200 a month is actually a steal because we know people need to get paid a lot more than that.
Right.
So it's a little bit slow and still kind of clunky right now. And it still needs a lot of human interaction. That's why I went back to just the plus level of ChatGPT for right now. But this technology is only going to get better from here on out. This is just the early phases, and it's still pretty mind-boggling what it can do.
Yeah, that seems really weird to see the cursor moving around and booking you a flight. And I wonder how the speed at which AI is moving, it seems like that may be much faster in just 6 months or less.
Oh yeah, for sure. I mean, it can. One of the partnerships that when they rolled out Operator was with Instacart. You can just go into ChatGPT, the Operator version of ChatGPT, and say, "Order me some more milk, cheese, eggs, whatever your list is," in a prompt, and it will go out to Instacart and put all the stuff in your cart for you and check out. And it'll probably like prompt you before hitting the checkout button, but everything else it will do on its own. That's one example. Another practical business case is for data entry. You can have it go out to a website. Let's say you wanted to get all of the email addresses from a particular website onto a spreadsheet. Well, instead of sitting there copying, pasting one by one or paying a human to do that, you can just ask Operator to do that type of data entry for you and
Wow.
put that information into a Google Sheet. And that I've found is pretty reliable. It can just run in the background and you can check and make sure that it's doing it correctly. But that type of really entry, like basic data entry type stuff, if you have a big need for that in your business, then it might be worth looking at the $200 ChatGPT Pro account.
That's just amazing. Speaking of all of this stuff that chat can do now, and of course, in the more expensive version of it, last time you talked about AI agents. How close are we to seeing AI agents become a part of everyday business operation?
The term agents is interesting right now because a lot of companies are using it just for marketing purposes, and it's not truly an agent. Let's break down what an agent really is. An agent is a fully automated AI system that can execute things as if it were a human. Think of it as like an AI employee, a digital employee, or an actual bot that can do things without needing the human intervention, unless you tell it to ask for the human intervention. We're not quite there yet, but there are tools that are getting there. You can build your own AI agents in things like Manus, Manus. Operator is close to being agentic. Even tools like Zapier now have, you can build your own agents in Zapier, in make.com. These are automation tools. They get a little bit more advanced, but we are getting close. That's the next phase in AI is agents. Think about it in terms of if you were going to go out to a website like indeed.com and hire a person, there will be websites where you can go and hire an agent that other people have built. This might be a good business model. Once you start learning how to build agents in AI, you can offer them for sale or for rent. People can license out agents instead of employees. I can look at buying digital employees to execute specific tasks. And that's what agents are. I recommend that people, it may sound complicated, like you need to know a bunch of coding, but you don't. And that's the beauty of this era that we've entered, is that the playing field has been leveled and you program in natural language now. These apps can code for you on the back end. All you have to do is tell it in plain English what you want to build. Another one is Replit, Replit. You can create an app, like an iPhone app, just by telling it what you want to build. For example, I'm in the process of building an app for remember in my book, Wealth Beyond Money, I have that morning routine, the gamer's morning routine.
Yes.
Well, I decided it would be cool if what if that were an app and someone could log their progress every day of knowing their morning routine with gratitude, affirmations, meditation, exercise, reading, and sharing, and tracking that and actually putting it all in one place. Because right now I have the analog Wealth Beyond Money companion journal where they can write down all of that stuff, which is great, but people love to do things in their phones. I've had in the back of my mind ever since I published that book in 2022, I want to build an app one day. But there's always been a barrier to entry because, this is, in my mind, I'm thinking, this is going to cost me hundreds of thousands of dollars. I have to work with a developer and go through rounds and changes. But now I don't. I can go straight to AI and build an app right then and there. And it works amazingly well.
Interesting. I need to give some thought to that because I feel like sometimes I'm like, oh, I wish I had an app for this. Maybe I can build my own app for whatever pops up. I know that you're traveling around the country, around the world, really, because you've done some international travel also, talking about AI and automation to small business owners. Have you seen any major mistakes that entrepreneurs or small business owners are making with AI recently?
Well, the biggest mistake that I see is, it seems to be either one of two things. Yeah, you kind of have this 80-20 rule that applies to life in general, but because most of the people, 80% of people aren't even using AI. at all. And that's not an accurate number. I'm just kind of saying 80-20, like, Pareto's law, Pareto's principle. But I meet so many business owners who just try out AI for a little bit and say, oh, it sucks. It doesn't work. Like they type something into ChatGPT and it comes out sounding robotic, and they just dismiss it. That's a huge mistake because it is way more powerful than you think. It can be customized to be speaking your brand voice, which I think we talked about on the last episode.
Yes.
So go back and listen to that episode, and I break down instructions on how you can make AI speak in your own brand voice. The other mistake that people make is trusting AI a little bit too much. So I've seen some people get overzealous and they just let AI post on their behalf. I know this one business owner who has digitized himself in a tool like Heygen, Heygen, and he's set up these automations where all he has to do is give it a subject that he wants to do a video about. And you can do this. And you could do this right now. You could tell your AI, I want to create a video about the importance of delegation. And have ChatGPT write a script in your own brand voice, send it to your Heygen, and have your voice cloned using something like 11 Labs. And now this avatar is speaking, and it seems kind of real, kind of natural. Like it could fool maybe 80% of people, but he has it automatically just posting on LinkedIn for him. And I can tell, and people can still tell because it's a little bit robotic, a little bit glitchy. AI it doesn't have the soul and the energy signature that we do as humans. And there's something missing there, right? Like when people trust it a little bit too much and just allow it to share on your behalf, you come off as insincere and disingenuous, and people can sense that fakeness. Don't depend too much on AI. That's one mistake. And also people who dismiss it and don't use it at all. That's the other mistake I see people making.
Right. You kind of have the opposite extremes. And it seems to me too, you're saying that authenticity is still very important in all that you do. While you may use AI to help you craft a post or some marketing or even video, but you still want it to be genuine to what you would say and what you would feel and have that soul, as you mentioned.
Exactly. And that's what I preach when I go around doing these speaking events. That's exactly the core of my message. Yes, I walk people through 4-hour workshops on how to leverage AI and automation in their businesses. But at the end of the day, the real AI is your authentic influence. And when you fuse that together with the other AI, artificial intelligence, that's how you win. But don't lose your soul that you project out to the world. Let that show, because that is what makes you special. That's what makes people want to do business with you. Because whether you're a B2B company or a B2C company, we are all P2P, people to people, human to human. At the other end of that decision-making process is a human being that has real feelings and real emotions and a life and a family. And that's what we have. That's what AI doesn't have. So we have to connect to that. And that's how we win in the age of AI.
Oh, I love that. And they have real discernment on how they want to spend their money. So as a business owner, that is what we're tapping into. We're looking to get that revenue. Authenticity is so important. That was good. You said the authentic something kind of versus
authentic influence, AI.
Authentic influence versus artificial intelligence. Love that.
Not versus, but
not versus. I'm sorry.
Yeah, we weave them together. You fuse them together. And that's when you get explosive results with AI.
Okay. I like it. I like it. Let's say you have someone who just now is ready to dive into artificial intelligence or AI for their business. What's the fastest way for them to get caught up? Because honestly, if I hadn't started by now, I might feel a little behind. But what's the fastest way for them to get caught up and stay competitive as we move through this year?
I don't want to sound like I'm just here to plug my own book, but honestly, that's why I wrote ChatGPT to Double Your Business in 90 Days, because it is a walkthrough and it is designed to, it's not a novel that you curl up and read by the fireplace. Like you open it up and you do day one and you stop, like actually do it before you go to day two, because day two is going to be another exercise. But it is arranged in the specific order that makes it easy for anyone to just jump in and learn super fast, hands on. Because you're right. If you keep putting it off and saying, "Oh well, I'm behind," then you're gonna get way, way behind. So the best time, what is the saying? The best time to plant a tree was 30 years ago. The second best time is today. Well,
Right.
jump in today, because it really doesn't take long to catch up. Just start customizing, playing around with it every day. Commit at least 30 minutes a day to using some AI tool, and subscribe to podcasts that are talking about AI. Just go in your favorite podcast app, search for artificial intelligence, and just start listening to the things that are going on. Go on YouTube. We have access to the greatest university in the world, YouTube University. Look up AI for business. There are tons of YouTubers who will walk you through how to do things. Take courses. You can take my courses. Simplesuccess.school is where I have very short walkthroughs that will teach you. In fact, one that I just released is how to create your AI publicist. So you can go and get free publicity, get written up in the press, have articles all around the web about your business, and it doesn't take you all day. I teach you how to leverage AI to write in your authentic brand voice and where to get published for free, because that's the new thing we need to know how to do in a world that's moving past traditional search engines. Because things like Google, like the traditional, when you go to Google and you see like 7 sponsored links, people don't want to do that anymore.
True.
Google traditional search is losing market share to people going to AI first, people going to Perplexity and ChatGPT just to get a straight answer without all the fluff, or people going to social media first. I didn't even tell you this. The other day, we had a customer come into Zeus's closet, and I always ask, "How'd you hear about us?" And she said, "Instagram." She went to Instagram to search for embroidery, same day embroidery companies. And we came up, and she looked through all the videos on our feed, and she was like, "I just love," she said something like, I could feel the energy of the company through your videos on social media." But she didn't even go to a search engine at all. So we need to really tailor our approach and change quickly, because traditional search is going the way of the phone book, and it's happening very quickly.
That's cool though. That makes me want to make sure I'm posting and showing what we do. I do want to just show you. I have your book on my desk because I have walked through all of it at this point, because it really is amazing how you break it down, and you just released a new version. I know you have it where if someone buys it from your website, they automatically get updates, right?
Mhm. That's right. Yeah, because the book is constantly being updated. You can buy it on Amazon, of course, and I think there's a QR code in there that you can scan. But if you buy it directly on my website, ethanking.com, you can get the full paperback version of it, and it's cheaper than it is on Amazon. Plus, automatically every time we update the book, it just pops into your inbox. It says ChatGPT to double your business in 90 days. Here's the update. Here's what's been updated. As one of my friends, Jeff Placken, says, it's the gift that keeps on giving.
No, that's good. It is. What's interesting, speaking of friends, one of my friends, she's not a business owner, but she has used ChatGPT to help do just simple daily things like plan her menus. She had to design some nails for her, and she took it to the salon, and the person did her nails like the image that she took inside the salon. To me,
Mhm.
that was just fascinating, because I think about it from a business perspective, but you could use it in just your everyday life, which is
Right.
amazing.
Oh yeah. It is, everyone needs a personal assistant to help in whatever you do. Whether you're a business owner or not, that's how I look at AI. It's our thought partner, our digital assistant. As you know, you and the kids make fun of me because I'll have ChatGPT at the dinner table sometimes. It's like another family member.
Yeah, I don't know about that.
But if you think about it, I mean, it really, imagine having the smartest person in the world right there with you at all times in our pockets. How amazing. We all have that right now. Even if you just have the free version, it's still pretty powerful. But go ahead and spend the $20 a month and get the plus version. And by the way, I don't get anything from OpenAI in endorsing ChatGPT. It just happens to be the biggest player in that space right now and kind of the Swiss Army knife of AI. But you can do the same thing with Claude. Try that out. Claude AI, Claude. It's very powerful. It's a competitor to ChatGPT. Some people like it a little bit better than ChatGPT. I like it better in certain situations. Like it's more human sounding when it comes to writing sometimes, but I'll try it in both ChatGPT and Claude because it also depends on which version you're using and who's recently done an update, things like that. But AI is a part of our lives. So lean into it. Let it be your amplifier that you have that can help you be a better version of you because now it has all of the knowledge of human history and the internet. It's read every book in the world just about. So you have your bestie. I have friends who use it for relationship and dating advice. And you can customize the voice to sound like whoever you want your bestie to be. Like, my ChatGPT is a guy with like a British sounding voice. And some people have it to where it sounds like maybe a woman of color because it's like, hey, this is my sister, who I talk to all the time, and they give it a name. I love seeing the different use cases that people use it for in business and in personal because it's just part of our lives. And the quicker you embrace that and the more information you actually give it about yourself, the better it can help you.
Yeah, I actually just had chat yesterday create really clean eating menus for us. So just so you know, we'll have some new things coming to the dinner table, but
You know what's cool? I did the other day. I showed this in my workshop when I was just in Nebraska. You could take a picture using your iPhone camera, take a picture of your refrigerator, take a picture of your pantry, take a picture of your freezer, and say, look at these photos and give me some menus for the week. And it will give you a bunch of recipes based on what you already have.
I'm chuckling inside because I'm like, what do we have in our refrigerator? What recipes? I feel like I haven't grocery shopped in a minute. But anyway, that's cool though. That is really good to know. I will definitely try that one. You had mentioned earlier too about people checking out podcasts. Now, of course, I know you have a podcast, but can you tell us a little bit about the name of your podcast as well as kind of the things that you all talk about on your podcast?
Yes. So the name of my podcast is King Moves, and it's all about making one small improvement in your life or business, just like in the game of chess, how the king moves one space at a time. Well, you can make one tiny 1% move in your life or business that could really change the trajectory of everything long term in a positive direction. And my co host is my buddy, Justin King, no relation. He's just a friend of mine who lives in Cape Town, South Africa. And we look at business and life through totally different perspectives and lenses. And we bring our listeners the latest insights on AI, business growth, fitness. Justin's in really great shape. He ran like 10 marathons in 10 days, literally. We talk about leadership. So anybody who's interested in those type of things, just jump in. We're not selling anything. We're just two guys who have business experience and lots of interesting outlooks on different things in the world. A lot of it has to do with AI. So if you're interested in this subject matter, check us out at King Moves.
Yeah, it's really good. I listen to you guys sometimes and it really is about that one step that could really move you forward. And so I would just say for anybody who listens to this podcast, I believe that anyone listening to this podcast, the goal is that they want to grow and level up because that's one of my things is leveling up. If you want to make moves, check out King Moves for sure. Is there anything else you foresee happening over the next, let's say, where are we? We're almost in June. We have about 7 months and some days left in this year. Can you make a prediction for anything that may happen in the world of AI over the next few months? Things we should look out for.
It's hard to say over the next few months, but I will say over the next 2 years, I predict that we will see a more rapid shift into wearable AI devices. I already right now I'm wearing my Claude Note necklace that records everything. It's like how we're all used to these recorders in our Zoom meetings, these AI bots that sit in and record and give us summaries and transcripts. Well, this necklace does that for me in real life meetings so that I can go and get a summary, throw it into my ChatGPT, and then use it from there. I also have the Meta AI Ray-Ban glasses that they do record high quality video and photos, but I can also just talk to the glasses and ask it questions. I could say, "Hey, Meta, what is this sign that I'm looking at right now? It sign could be in Spanish. What is it? What does it say in English?" And it'll translate it in my ear immediately. I can ask it random facts. How many miles is it to the moon? It will tell me in my ear immediately. Meta is kind of, well, Google Glass was out a long time ago. They were way ahead of their time. But now Google just released new glasses. So you have Meta releasing glasses, Google, and Apple is reportedly supposed to come out with glasses in 2027. Now we see the phone is going to start to go away, the actual phone itself, and it's going to be more woven into our wearables to where we can just see an LCD screen, we can see things through our lenses, we can hear things, where our device will start to be these wearables. And then I predict that quickly after that, after we have all these glasses and you're used to seeing people with, it's going to get into like a fashion thing where it's like, oh, I'm wearing the latest Apple glasses. Oh, he's wearing the Google glasses. Oh, he's wearing the Meta glass. It just starts to be this status thing, but they all kind of how we are with phones now.
Yeah.
One of my buddies, Justin, actually, I noticed that he used to be hardcore Android and had the green bubble whenever I would text him. And then one day I saw the bubble change to blue. And I've known Justin for years. So I said, did you get an iPhone? And he said, yeah, I got tired of getting bullied. Yeah, we'll start to see when you see competition in a space, then you know that it's really gone mainstream, right? So we're already seeing the top players with Google, Meta, and Apple. Amazon will probably come out with some glasses right after that.
Of course they will. Of course they will.
They already have Alexa in everything, right?
Amazon basics.
Right. But then I quickly predict that after we go through the glasses phase, we're going to enter a contact lenses phase. There's already a company called Expansio. You can go look it up, expansio.com. It's like XPANCEO.com. They are making contact lenses that can project your screen in front of you and only you can see it. So I think we'll start to go there shortly after the glasses.
That's crazy to me. It's also a little concerning to me because I feel like we are getting more just into our own worlds. You know what I mean? Like the kids and I often talk about when we go out to eat that there will be two people sitting at a table and they're not talking to each other. They're both on their phones.
Right.
And with people only seeing things in their contact lenses, and I don't know, I feel like we're getting more into this kind of self-centered world. And I don't necessarily mean that in a negative way, but I think it can have negative consequences when it comes to your relationships. Anyway, I was watching this show, one last thought. I was watching this show on Netflix and I noticed for the young people, for example, they don't talk on the phone. They only text each other. For me, I'm thinking you all could just pick up the phone and resolve this issue in about 5 minutes if you just talk. But instead, it's back and forth texting, it's misunderstandings, it's just a lot happening. Anyway, so we'll see how it all plays out. But you've said a lot of names of companies from Claude and Plod and Rep. Some of them I can't even pronounce because they're made up words, but it's a lot and it seems to be ever changing. So I will have to have you back on the show again to give us an update in a few months or a year or so to just kind of see where we are in this world of artificial intelligence.
Yeah, for sure.
Yeah. Thank you so much for being on the show. I appreciate you. I get a lot of this just sitting at the dinner table or just through conversations, but I want my listeners to know what's happening as well. So I appreciate you taking the time to come onto the show and share with us all of the latest and greatest.
It's a pleasure. Always great to be here.
Thank you.